Hey everybody, Unstable Gamer here, and welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're going to be diving into Ghost Rider's kit. We got an insight to what his kit looks like. A little bit different from the last video that you saw, where we got a general overview. Now we're just going to dive into the kit. I'm going to give some thoughts. We've got some animations to show as well, so some very cool stuff to go over in this video. But first, before we do that, if you're just now finding this channel and you want to stay up to date with this and other games, consider hitting that subscribe button so you don't miss out. All right, and welcome back. Okay, so we have the newest community update to go ahead and take a look at, and this is where we go ahead and get some insight into what's coming up and Ghost Rider's kit itself. So let's just take a look at this. We do have there was a cool little video here that it was showing. Let me go ahead and just stop this right here. So we have this strike time video that came up in the newest community update. That's a pretty cool watch. If you have not seen that yet, I would highly suggest going ahead and watching that. Cerebro it has some stuff to comment on and also talks with the developer about the intention of this team. And we're going to take a quick look at that as well, as far as the intention behind this team, other than Halloween coming up and wanting to put together this supernatural team. So, and kind of, you know, what their hopes for this team are. But let's go ahead, before we jump into all of that, let's go ahead and take a look at the Ghost Rider himself. So right now, the Brimstone Biker is a vengeful brawler who stacks bleeds on enemies. There's a lot of bleeds for this guy too. So this guy is jumping into a team with Mordo right here. Mordo, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, and their new blaster, Elsa Bloodstone. Don't have much information on that. So they took this team, and there's some insight as to how they chose these characters. Basically, these characters just didn't have a home. They didn't have a solid team, a synergistic team yet. So they took these characters and put them in there. And it fits too, because there is some lore with Doctor Strange and Mordo and Ghost Rider and all that. So there is some reasoning behind that as well. So that's pretty cool. We do have those 5 characters. That's going to make up our supernatural team. After we take a look at this kit, I want to jump into my roster here, take a look at what other characters might come up as having this supernatural tag. I don't know if these characters are the only ones with supernatural tags. It seems like just through the conversations that have been had regarding Ghost Rider in this team, it seems as if there's going to be some other characters with that supernatural tag, so that if you don't have all these characters, you can do some mixing and matching, some mishmashing of creating a team that might work. So we'll take a look at that here in just a second as well. All right, so let's jump into this. So the traits are right here. So Hero, City, Mystic, Brawler, and Supernatural. So one thing now, if I'm remembering correctly, not the Spider-Verse team, but the Sinister Six is specifically built to defeat and crush your hero city brawlers. So that means Ghost Rider is going to be in one of those ones. So you're not going to want to pit this this team up against that Sinister Six team. Now, in previous posts or these types of updates where they have given us kit information, they said that this is maxed. I'm going to assume that all of these abilities are maxed abilities. So with that, I'm going to do my best to theorize, to theorycraft, to predict what may or may not be good to put orange material in just right off the bat. I'm just going to go off this. When the character comes into the game, we'll do a more in-depth look at that. But Hellfire, right now, attack primary target for damage and apply bleed for 2 turns. Now, if this is maxed out, there's 2 potentials here. Number 1, either primary target for damage and apply. So there's going to be a percentage there. There has to be a percentage there. So there may or may not be an increased percentage. Or you may go from from apply bleed for 1 turn up to 2 turns. Now, if that's the case, just going off of what we see here, I don't see this ability as one that you're going to want to put orange material in. It's just 1 target, and if it's just 1 additional turn for bleed, it really just doesn't make sense for your orange material. So, right off the bat, I'm going to say nope, no orange material for the basic. Let's take a look at the special Hell Cycle. All right. Attack primary target for damage and apply 2 bleed for 2 turns, and attack all adjacent enemies for damage and apply 2 bleed. Okay, so when I take a look at abilities and whether I want to put the precious orange material into one, I take a look at how many enemies it's going to impact, and then what's the overall functionality of that ability. Right here, if it's just a damage increase, and if it just goes from one bleed to 2 turns, or from one bleed and 1 turn to 2 turns, if it just messes around with that bleed a little bit, I don't know that this is going to be enough to want to put that orange material into. So right now, I'm 50-50 on this one. It may be worth it, it may not. Got to really see the detail behind this ability right here. All right, Penance Stare, the ultimate. Attack primary target for piercing and apply offense down and defense down. If charged, this attack gains drain and loses 1 charge. So you're going to be doing some healing there. So in the last video I did where it gave a general overview of Ghost Rider's abilities, it was talking about that, the Penance Stare and being able to do some healing ability there. This may or may not be worth some orange material. It really depends on the stats there. You know, this is hard. It's hard really trying to make recommendations here, but at least, we're getting some information here and we can take some initial thoughts and then take that into the kit once the kit is fully revealed with all the percentages and numbers and things like that. But I'm going to be 50-50 on that one as well. So the passive, on death, grant 2 ability energy to all supernatural allies. On non-summoned allied deaths, attack the enemy that killed the target for damage and gain +1 charged, up to a maximum of 5, and generate 3 ability energy for self. Okay, so when a negative effect is applied to an enemy, increase speed bar of self and all supernatural allies. So there's got to be a percentage tied in there somewhere. If there's a good percentage, then this would, just with that and what we've read so far, this would be something good to put orange material in, but we'll find out. Gain max health, and supernatural allies gain max health. So again, there's going to be a percentage tied into that somewhere. We're going to gain some focus, and then supernatural allies gain focus as well. So with all this tied up, so your supernatural allies, so like Scarlet Witch, she prolongs negative effects, and you've got Doctor Strange, who flips positive effects into negative effects and things like that. You're gonna want a good amount of focus to make things stick. So that just seems good. So just the overall look here, it looks like passive may be something that we may want to put orange material into. So for me right now, just taking a look at this, the only ability here that I'm really looking at more than likely putting orange material in is going to be that passive. 50-50 on the ultimate and special, definitely not on the basic. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens when the character gets into game and we get to take a look at that. So Ghost Rider sounds pretty cool. I know that this team doesn't really have a home, right? But Scarlet Witch has synergy with Vision, and it's an awesome synergy in my opinion. I wish they would have put something together that would go well with that team specifically. Now, if you don't have one of the other characters, maybe it's good to put Vision in here to get that synergy with Scarlet Witch, because there's those extra bleeds there. You've got Ghost Rider bleeds, you've got the bleeds that come with Vision's ultimate as long as you have Scarlet Witch on the team, so you got additional bleeds there. You've got Scarlet Witch's ability to prolong negative effects, so you can prolong those bleeds. So right off the top of my head, it seems like it might be pretty good. Now, I have all the characters right now except for Elsa Bloodstone, obviously, and Ghost Rider. So we'll see kind of what happens. But if you don't have one of those characters, it might be good to put Vision in there to play around with a little bit. But Vision is pretty solid with the Power Armor team as well. So that synergy there between Vision and Scarlet Witch, we really don't have an opportunity to take advantage of that too much. And that's unfortunate. But Ghost Rider seems pretty cool. Really looking forward to jumping into Elsa Bloodstone's kit as well, because she's a blaster, right? Right? Yep, new blaster, Elsa Bloodstone. So it'll be very interesting to see kind of what she brings to the table as well. What additional abilities, what additional synergy she might have. All right, so everybody should see in their game right now the Highway to Halloween. We've got some events coming up. We covered that in the last video. Some cool stuff. Scare up some Ghost Rider shards. We got this Trick or Treat trait that's going to be coming. We had a 13-day calendar that contains characters that have that limited time Trick or Treat trait. So that actually, if you go into your game, we're going to switch over into the game here. So let's switch over into the game here in just a second. I'm going to finish this up. We're going to switch over there. And that, I believe, this Highway to Halloween starts in about 5 days. And look at this. Don't miss the party. It'll be a Graveyard Hulk smash. That's funny. All right, we have some new Blitz coming up. We got Deadpool and Killmonger coming up. No date specific, but those are going to be coming up in the next couple weeks. And then need a hand. We got right here. We got some 2 times hand ninja drops for you. So if you need to increase that hand team. Now that hand team, I'm working on another video right now is updating my defensive teams for war. That hand team is an excellent team for war, for defense team. I wouldn't really put them on offense. They function much better on defense than they do on offense. All right, with that said, let's jump on over into the game. All right, so here we go. Here's my roster. This is my Mystic roster. And the reason why I'm taking a look at this is because you have Mordo, you have Scarlet Witch, you have Doctor Strange here. So the 3 characters that they added to Ghost Rider and Elsa Bloodstone are Mystic characters. So as far as characters that could possibly get the supernatural trait, I'm going to take a look at some characters that could possibly have a supernatural trait but do not have a home, right? So right now, let's see. I don't know. Thanos is more cosmic. Thanos seems to be more cosmic as well. Loki doesn't have a specific home, so it's possible he could get that supernatural trait. I think that would probably be a good one as well. Let's see. Who else in here? I mean, supernatural. I don't really see Thor as a supernatural character. I see some hand characters here as supernatural, like Nobu and stuff like that, because they have all got this mystic stuff going on, but they've already got a home. Yeah, I mean, if I take a look at just this stuff here and characters without a home, Loki comes up, Yondu comes up, but Yondu, I don't know if I would really classify him as supernatural. So without that, so if we don't take a look at just the mystic, what else do we have here? Let's run through this roster. Let's just run through this really quick. Look at some characters that don't have a home, a real home. Quake doesn't really have a home, but she's not supernatural. Neither, I don't think Storm isn't either. Anybody else here that could be considered supernatural? What do we got? And don't have a home. I'm not really seeing much right now. Let's see. We got some Spider-Verse here. Could be considered supernatural. They're more cosmic in my opinion. But that team seems to be getting pulled apart, especially with Goblin going into the Sinister Six. But I really don't see much as far as the supernatural tag, other than adding it to some existing characters that already have a home, right? So I don't know. That's going to be pretty interesting to see once that comes out, if it's going to be more than just those 5 characters. And that's what we have for the whole roster. Very interested to hear your guys' thoughts on who do you think is going to get the supernatural tag other than those 5. So other than Mordo, Scarlet Witch, Doctor Strange, Ghost Rider, and Elsa Bloodstone. Who else do you think? I think Loki might be a good one for that. You got some hand, like I was saying, who might be good for that. There you go, everybody. That's what I had for you today. Just a quick video to go over Ghost Rider's kit, mainly. Show some of the animations there for those abilities, because those were pretty cool as well. And just kind of go over the roster and who might make that supernatural tag. I don't know. The potential seems to be fairly low. But again, I'd love to hear from all of you on what you think, who you think might get those new supernatural tags. All right. As always, I want to thank you all for taking the time to watch the video. If you liked it, make sure to hit that like button and share your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Take care, everybody, and we'll talk to you next time.